guys. Welcome to Fest as a podcast. Uh, this is my first episode. I'm excited to be recording. Just a makeshift studio in our spare bedroom. But this topic not came to me like a revelation, but it was just like something I was thinking about in maybe 4 weeks ago. And I was just sitting at home. For those of you that know, I'm here on a student visa, so I can't legally work. So I'm not just sitting home, and my wife is working, so we can survive. And I was thinking, like, why? Why am I here? Am I satisfied with this life? Am I fulfilled here? Am I happy in this position that God has me in? And that got me to thinking about other people that I know, or people that stories that I've heard of, people that are we're stuck in this weird place where we are looking for fulfillment in where we are, but the question comes up in the middle of the night, like, is this what life is really all about? Is this all my life is? Is this what I am? Is this where I am? Am I satisfied? Am I happy with the life I have? And naturally, as anyone would, is, let me talk about it on a podcast. Let me see if there's other people out there that have the same issue, or that are thinking about the same things that I'm thinking about. So here it is. This episode is called The Fulfillment Lie, or the Fulfillment Trap that we're in this world right now. So I'm using my wife's old iPad, for my notes. So if I'm holding something and you can't see it, just know I'm just using this iPad. So I'm gonna give you some context. Right, I'm just gonna lay out the plan. I'm gonna give you some context and then title at the end. So if you skip any part, you might get to the end and be like, "What? How did we get here?" So just follow chronologically to the end, right? So welcome to the Feston has a podcast. Thank you for tuning in. So as you know, we have more phones, more iPads, more laptops. You can send a message anywhere and get there instantly, right? So somebody tell me why the most successful generation of young adults in human history is also the most anxious, the most medicated, and the most lonely, right? I was thinking about this. We have more access than any other generation. Like if you talk to your parents, like, "Oh, you didn't have iMessage. What did you do?" It's like we had to send a letter, and it had to get there maybe like 3 or 4 days later. They'll reply like that. "Oh, we couldn't talk on the phone till midnight," right? But we have all these privileges that we're connected. We have more friends. We are like, well, maybe some people don't have many friends, but we have more friends, and we can talk to more friends, and we can reach out to more people. But we're still lonely. We're still anxious. We're still medicated. So I was thinking, what's wrong with that? How did we get here? And like, right, like we have more freedom to build the life we want at this age. I mean, house prices are expensive, yeah, but we're talking about just in general, like more freedom to build the life that we want it to look like. Move to the city we want to move to. Date who we want. Build the career we want. Post the life we want on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you post your stuff. And somehow we still end up empty at the end of the day. Like you have all these things that you're getting in your life, and you're ending up still empty. So my question is, why are we still empty, and how did we end up here, right? So this episode is about that. So to start with, segment number one, part number one of this episode is, what is it actually that we're chasing? What is it actually that we want at the end of the day? But we use all these other things to fill in the things we really want, right? We're chasing the achievement, the degree, the promotion at work, the six-figure job, the day you finally make a post on Instagram, say, "I made it. Look where I am." Like romance, we're looking for a relationship that makes you finally feel like you're the chosen one. You secure a new relationship with someone. An image, right? We want to have the body, the aesthetic, the curated life that gets the right reaction. People look at you like, "Wow, he works out. Wow, she works out. Wow, this person can dress," or this and that. The experience. the travel, the nightlife, the I only live once moments, right? We want to have all these I only live once moments, or you only live once, YOLO, so live life to the fullest. Autonomy, like what? What does that mean? Freedom, right? Not someone telling us what to do, but us actually deciding, oh, today, you know what, I'm just going to exercise a little bit of free will and do whatever I want. I'm just going to sit on the couch. I'm just going to go get ice cream. I want to go get a cup of coffee. Um, and I'm not saying all these things are evil. Like, none of these things are evil. Like, wanting to have a relationship with someone who values you and you're secure in them is not bad. Wanting to travel is not bad. Getting a degree, getting the promotion at work is not evil. None of those things I'm saying are evil. But here's the actual problem. I think what I've come to realize is the actual problem is not just that we want all these things, but we've made good things into ultimate things. What does that mean? Like, we're looking at these things, right? We're looking at the job to give us identity. We're asking we're asking a relationship to give us security. We're asking someone we love or someone we want to love, like, oh, you give me security. You make me feel secure in myself. We're asking our body to give us our worth. Like, look at my body. That's who I am. Like, we're asking all these finite things to give us infinite, like, desire. We're asking for experiences. We're asking for experience or traveling or getting, like, living the YOLO life to give us peace. And at the end of the day, I think those things were never built. Like, those things were not made to carry the weight of the things we desire, right? So, like I said, most of these things are going to be answered by the Bible. So let's go back to the Bible, right? What can we learn from the Bible? Because the Bible actually tells us there's nothing new under the sun. So there's a guy, if you're not a Christian and you're like, oh, another Bible story, just stick with me. Just stay with me for a little bit. And you make sense at the end. There's a book in the Bible. This book, me and Riley McCook, who is my host on another podcast, the Campfire Podcast, my best friend. We quote this movie sometimes when you're looking at things. It's just like, the Ecclesiastic's life, right? So it's written by a guy, according to the text. According to the Bible, he was the richest, the wisest, the most powerful man in his era. So he was like the Trump of his era, like the most powerful, the richest. And his name was Solomon. He was the king of Israel, right? So this man had unlimited resources. He had everything he could have wanted, unlimited access, unlimited pleasure available to him. And he actually did this experiment for us, so we don't have to do it all over and over again. We can just look at it and look, oh, that's what I'm chasing. So in Ecclesiastes 2, verse 4 through 10, it says, I made great works. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I made myself gardens and parks. I got singers, both men and women, and concubines, the delight of the sons of men. So I became great and surpassed all who were before me, and whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. Right? So what is he saying? Basically saying he had the money, he had the houses, the real estate, he had the luxury, didn't have private planes back then, but he had the PJ, right? The private jets back then, the romance, the entertainment. He could hire anyone. It's like right now, think of your favorite singer, pop star, or whoever, and you can just say, hey, come perform at my dinner. I'm having dinner with my friends, or we're having movie night, so we just want you to come and hang out with us. And that person just shows up because you have the means to afford them. And it says he didn't hold back from a single thing his heart wanted. So whatever his heart desired, he got it. It's like, I want it, I got it. Like, I don't check the price. All I do is swipe, kind of thing. So this is like the ancient version of, like, I got the bag. Like, he had the bag. He was in his bag. He was cooking back then. But then in verse 11, this is the important part of reading things in context. In verse 11, it says, Then I considered all that my hands had done, and behold, all was vanity and the striving after wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. That's Ecclesiastes 2:11. So vanity, let's talk about that word. In the Hebrew word for vanity is hevel. It means vapor or smoke, something you grab and it just slips through your fingers, right? Like, oh, it slipped through his nose. Uh, he's not saying it was bad, right? He's not saying it was bad while it lasted. He's just saying it didn't last. Uh, the highs always faded. All the people left. All the admirations always left him. Um, and then the emptiness always come back louder than before. That's not a Solomon problem. We see these things happen now. It's like you have this high moment and everybody's looking at you, and then you go back to your bed and you're just like, that's it. Like, it's all done. Like, I'm not the star of the show anymore. Like, it's done. And now you're just with your thoughts and you're like, is that it? Like, that void in your heart, that void in your soul is not filled yet. So let's talk about that. Uh, so, uh, through my reading and my research, I think there's three things that are happening. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. So we're adapting. It says whatever new thing gives you a high, whatever new thing gives you a high, a raise, a relationship, a body change, your baseline resets. The goalpost just moves, right? It's like most people in Africa say on the, I don't know if it's just most people in Africa, but people here say it too. Like on the money bill, it just says $1,000 only, right? Then if you want the next thing, 100,000 only. Then it's the goalpost is always moving. So you need more of it. So whatever gives you the high, whatever makes you feel like, oh, I belong, whatever makes you feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. Is it your abs? I'm looking at you, Isaiah. Is it your hair? I'm looking at you, Riley. I don't know if you're gonna listen to this, but you got no hair, so that was a joke. But you need more of these things and you keep needing more, and you're just adapting to the next thing. Like, oh, it's like influencers online. Like, if they make a video that makes 100,000 views, they have to up it so they can get 1 million views. So it's kind of that same thing. And then the second thing is misplaced weight, right? So you're asking a finite thing to answer an infinite question. Am I enough? That's the question you're asking, essentially. Do I matter? Will I be okay if all these things were taken away? And no relationship, no job, or nobody is ever gonna answer that. And the analogy that someone pointed out is you're trying to fill a pool with a teacup. It's not that. The teacup is broken. It's just the wrong tool for the size of the need. You're using the wrong thing to fill the right thing, right? So you're asking something that's finite or that's limited to fill something that's unlimited. And then the third thing is that your job can be lost, the relationship can end, the body will age. Like, people are aging. You can have the perfect body now, in 10 years you got wrinkles, and then what? And then we're looking at something saying anything that can be taken was never a stable foundation. We're looking for these things to be the foundations for our lives, but actually these things can't be the foundations of our life because they disappear, they're vapor, they're meaningless, right? Stay with me. I know you're like, wow, this guy's just yapping and nothing's coming out of it, but forgive me there. I yap a lot, I talk a lot. So the Bible actually explains this thing where we're just stuck in this trap of like wanting more, trying to feel something infinite with something finite. In Jeremiah 2:13 it says, they have forsaken me. That's God speaking. He's saying, they have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So God is saying, my people have forsaken me. I'm the living water. They have abandoned me, and they've sown themselves, they've hewed themselves cisterns that can hold no water, right? A cistern, if you don't know, is a hand dug pit, right? It's like you dig a cistern in the ground, and it's supposed to hold water. It's supposed to store water. So a broken cistern looks fine on the outside, but when you put water in it, it doesn't hold water. It's like it's like pouring water in a broken glass or a broken cup. You keep pouring and the water keeps going out. It's not holding it. Um, and the point I'm trying to make with that one is that we keep pouring our lives, ourselves, into something that was never meant to hold what we're pouring into it. So now it's a circle back moment, if you want to call it that. Why am I saying all this? Because I've come to the realization that God has me where I am for a purpose. God has me where I am for a reason, and uh, I have to be. I have to learn how to be content, how to be fulfilled with that moment. Uh, am I always going to feel enough? No, but I have to know that my foundation is built on God, right? So if it's not an achievement that makes you fulfilled, that makes you happy, if it's not a relationship that makes you fulfilled, that makes you happy, if it's not an experience in nightlife or traveling that makes you happy, what is it? What makes people actually happy? What is it that we're seeking? What is the hole in our heart that we're trying to fill with all these things I just mentioned? A relationship, traveling, or a job, or an income. So if we go to the Gospel of John, chapter 4, there's a woman in that verse. If in that chapter, if you've read the Bible, she's an outsider, uh, a Samaritan woman that was looked down by her culture. She's on a faith-filled relationship, currently living with a man she's not married to. She goes to draw water from the well in the middle of the day, alone, and it's hot. Like, here people get, like, we got water, we got pipes, we got tap water. But I'm from Malawi, and my mom had to go to the well to get water. And you know what happens? Women don't go alone to go get water. They get with their friends at a specific time, say, "Oh, we're going to get water." So they go to the well together to talk stories and get water, and then they carry the water back together. But she's going there alone at a time where it's hot and no one else is going to the well because it's hot. Uh, because she's avoiding these women from judging her. Um, and so what are we learning from this? We're learning that this is a woman who has been chasing a relationship, who has been chasing fulfillment from relationships, and her relationships keep failing, and she's still chasing for that. She's actually living with a man she's not married to. It's like she's chasing that fulfillment, that security, that uh, fulfillment, that happiness from a man, uh, and it's not happening. And then she meets Jesus, and Jesus is there and says something that changes perspective for her and should change perspective for us. It says, "Everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again," talking about the water in the well. "But whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. The water that I will give him will become in him a spring of water welling up eternal life." And that's the most important thing we should be learning from this, is that the water, right, in Jeremiah, in Jeremiah 2:13, we've taught that we've forsaken the living water, the fountain. We've forsaken God, and we're asking everything else rather than God to fill that well, to give us water, to give us living water. We're asking everything else except asking the one who actually gives the life, who actually gives the water. So that's the tie-in. Right? Jesus is not condemning her like, "Oh, you're chasing all these things." He's just pointing like, "Hey, the things you're chasing are not going to give you satisfaction. They're not going to fulfill you. The things you're looking at to give you fulfillment, to give you happiness, to make you feel you belong, they're not going to do that. Those things are not going to be there forever. They'll be taken away." And he says, what is Jesus offering the lady? He's saying, it's a different source, right? It's like the source you're taking from is broken, and Jesus is saying, "I'm the right source. You should be coming to me. You should be plugging into me to get the fulfillment you want. You should be plugging into me to get the living water so you can live and have eternal life," right? I know it's going on long, but we're almost done here. I promised myself that this episode will be short, so you can consume them in less time. And like always, I said the goal of this podcast is just to point you to Christ, because He is the living water. He is the one that gives us fulfillment. Um, Jesus is offering her something eternal, something sustaining, not dependent on circumstances, or it's just saying this is gonna hold you, this is gonna fill you up, this is gonna give you eternal life. This is what you need. Um, and David writes about the same thing in the Old Testament. It says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." That's Psalm 16:11. Uh, and the joy that David is talking about is not the joy of achievement. Not It's fullness of joy in God's presence, and that's what I was thinking about. Is like, where am I getting my fulfillment, or why am I feeling this way? And the most important thing is fullness of joy in God's presence. Uh, Not in what you do or your work or wherever you hang out or around, but you, your joy, your pleasures are in the presence of the Lord. Um, so am I saying quit your job, dump your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and sit in a cave? No, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I think we have to reframe where we're getting our satisfaction, where our source of our life is coming from. And Jesus says in John 10, verse 10, says that He came so that people may have life and have it abundantly. That's very important, abundantly. Uh, Not scarce, not joyless, not ambitionless life, not just where I hear, oh, I don't have any ambitions because I just want to be full, but God, no. It's sitting in His presence. The Christian life, like, we're never meant to have a boring life. We never have to have an ambitious, a meaningless life. No, we have to have. Jesus came so we could have life abundantly. It means to have full of the right thing, right? Um, Pastor Kirk always says, like, we too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, right? We are meant to have full of joy or full of something from the right place, which is God. Um, so it's meant to be full of the right thing, so that the good things, your work, your relationship, your body, your experiences, stop being asked to do the job where they're never built for. So we ask God to do the things that He is able to fill, the hole in our heart. We ask God to fill that, and then from that, from God filling our heart, stems all these good things that we have, right? Paul says in Philippians 4 verse 11, says, "I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content." He wrote that from prison. He was in prison. He was bound to the floor, and says, "From whatever state I am in, whatsoever state I am, to be content." He wrote that from prison, not from a beach at Prince Beach. He didn't write from Big Beach. He had found fulfillment that didn't fluctuate with his circumstances. His fulfillment didn't change because he was in St. Lucia or he was in Malawi. It was because he was in Hawaii, or was in Malawi, it was in first world country or a third world country. His fulfillment was placed in God, and God gave him the fulfillment. So there's a difference between saying I'll be okay once I get X, or once I get the relationship, now I'll feel more fulfilled, or I'll be happy once I get a relationship, or once I get the job I want, or once I get abs, then I'll get. There's a difference, right? What I've learned from watching people that older than me is that, like, good examples of people older than me, is that they look at their life as, I'm already anchored in Christ, so I'm free to pursue mission work. I'm free to pursue this job that God has given me. but I don't need this job to save me. I don't need to be at this job for me to feel fulfilled. I don't need to be in this relationship for me to be fulfilled, because I already have a relationship with Christ. And from that relationship with Christ, I'm able to love freely. I'm able to be loved freely, because I know that I'm dealing with people that have finite amount of love. But Jesus Christ, who I'm anchored in, doesn't have finite. He's infinite. His love for me is unconditional, doesn't change. But the people that I'm in, right? So if you're getting the point, please just nod your head that you're getting the point, because I'll keep explaining it if I feel like I'm not explaining it enough. So just leave it at that. But so we can have ambition, we can have goals, but what are your goals and your ambitions built on is the whole point I'm trying to make. If you're looking for love from other people, if you're looking for your friendships to give you fulfillment, if you're looking for your job to give you fulfillment, it's not. It's gonna give you fulfillment for the day, but not for the long term. So please, I'm gonna ask you guys, if you like this episode, if you thought I said something that touched on your point of view to Christ, please leave a comment. If you're listening to the audio version on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. On Spotify, you can leave a comment. The whole point is that hope in Christ gives us fulfillment. Our love for Christ gives us fulfillment and nothing else. So thank you for listening to First and as a podcast. I know it's a cringy name, but it's First and as a podcast. If this episode touched you, please share it with someone else. Let them know they're loved by God, and that fulfillment, happiness, and joy and the pleasures of this life come from sitting in the presence of the Lord, rather than the presence of our job, presence of relationship, or presence of anything else. So with that, thank you for listening to First and as a podcast. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever you do to support this. Thank you very much.